But now let's talk through what's happening in Europe, where France and Germany have proposed a European recovery fund that would distribute more than €500 billion to the countries worst affected by coronavirus. The money would gradually be repaid through the EU budget, although the deal would have to be agreed by other European countries. Tim Allman has the details.
In Munich, the beer gardens are finally reopening. Plenty of restrictions are still in place, but it's a sign the German economy is slowly coming back to life. The lockdown has had a devastating impact, and now the European Union's two richest members are proposing a potential way forward.
Europe must stand together, which means we need to aim for a swift economic recovery, and that is why we want to set up an open and shut fund to the sum of €500 billion. We're convinced this is not only justified, but also necessary to make money available on a European level.
In what looks like something of an about-face, Angela Merkel, along with Emmanuel Macron, is proposing a fund of €500 billion, which crucially will be given out in the form of grants rather than loans. The money will be raised by the European Commission, borrowing from the financial markets in the European Union's name. And it won't have to be directly repaid. Instead, the funds will be recouped through the EU budget. Effectively, richer countries will subsidise the less well-off.
Europe must not close itself off from world trade. It must provide better support for the most strategic sectors. And we believe that we must share a common strategy of autonomy, industrial and economic cooperation.
The plan is already facing criticism. Austria's Chancellor Kurz insists any money must be given as a loan and not a grant. And then there's the question of whether it will be enough. Europe, like much of the rest of the world, is facing its worst downturn since the Great Depression. Will €500 billion do the trick, or will much more be needed? Tim Allman, BBC News.